VirginiaSports.com here with men's golf coach Bowen Sargent. Coach Sargent, you're getting ready to open the spring portion of your schedule this weekend when you head to Aiken for your annual trip to the Cleveland Golf at the Palmetto, an historic golf course. It's been pretty good to this golf program in the past. Tell us a little bit about your plans to get the spring started down there in Aiken, South Carolina.
Well, we're excited to start the season. We've played very well in the fall, obviously have a very good team. So we're excited about going down there. We've had a lot of success over the years. Obviously Ben Coles won there a couple of times. I think Ben Roosh finished runner-up 2 years ago. And I think we finished runner-up 2 or 3 times as a team. So we've been very successful at Palmetto.
Now from there you're going to head down south to Georgia for the Chris Schenkel Invitational in Statesboro, Georgia. Really first-class, well-run event. Tell us a little bit about the lineup you're taking to those two tournaments. Who's going to be playing for you during the spring break week?
Well, Denny and Ben Roosh in qualifying, they had exceptional outings. So the two of them are playing for sure. Nick McLaughlin has been a little bit of a surprise. He's played much better this spring, and really excited about seeing how he's going to perform. And then in the 4 and the 5 spot will be our 2 first years, Derek Bard and Jimmy Stanger.
You talked a little bit earlier about having a really strong fall where you finished up the fall in the top 10. What are the things you have your players work on between your fall season ending and the spring competition season beginning? You've got a couple of months in there. I'm sure that they concentrate on their academics at the end of the fall. But what are the things you have them concentrate on golf to make their games better?
We go through a lot of obviously physical conditioning. We up our workouts. We go to 3 days a week instead of 2, so we put a little more emphasis on working out. And then during that time we make technical changes, whether it be putting, chipping, or full swing. So we've used the 3 or 4 months in the off season really to grow individually. Both in terms of technique and mechanics, and as well as physically, so that the guys can get bigger and stronger.
Now, also in the offseason, you've had some really good news. You've had a couple of major announcements that Denny McCarthy is a candidate for the Hogan Award, which is presented to the top collegiate player every year, and he's also on the Palmer Cup list along with Ben Roosh. And interestingly, you've got players on opposite sides of the Palmer Cup. Why don't you talk a little bit about what the Palmer Cup is and those individuals?
Yeah, we have been very fortunate. Denny's received a lot of accolades, as well as being ranked in the top 10 individually, and that's afforded him the opportunity to be named hopefully to the Palmer Cup team if he can have a good spring. Ben Roosh as well, which I think would be pretty interesting because obviously Denny would represent the United States in the Palmer Cup, and Ben would represent Europe. They could potentially play against each other this summer in the Palmer Cup. So I think that would be interesting. Hopefully the coaches wouldn't pair them against each other, but it could happen.
And speaking of rankings, coaches' conventions held this year, they're probably going to have you be a speaker on how to rise up in the rankings without playing. You in the fall ranked 10th in the country. A couple of weeks of tournament play has taken place with other programs. Your team hasn't gone out yet and teed it up yet you've gone up 3 spots to 7th, maybe the highest ranking ever for the program. All joking aside, you've got to be really proud about that right now.
I am. Yeah, it's a tremendous honor to be in the top 10. There's so many good programs around the country, so many good coaches. We were very fortunate to have an outstanding fall, and we've benefited by some of the teams that we've beaten. Have had some success early here in the spring, and I think that's allowed us to ascend in the rankings. But we're a very good team. We have a lot of depth, and I think the sky's the limit for this team. I mean, it seems like Alabama is probably the only team that's really kind of separated themselves from the rest of the country. But I think once you get outside of them, looking at the top 10 or 15 teams in the country, I think we're all fairly similar. So it could be an interesting spring.
Well, good luck when you tee it up this week on the annual spring break trek and get your spring season started.
Thank you, and wahoo wah.